Okay then, I've wanted to do this video for a very long time. I may seem a little disinterested because I've literally just finished doing my ROH Glory by Honor 9 predictions preview video just over there at my computer. But I thought I'd stand up for this one because I don't really like sitting down in my videos. It takes away from the enthusiasm, I think, but I had the card in front of me on my laptop, so I thought I'd just sit down and do that video. But now, stood up in front of this camera to review this Bret the Hitman Hart. This, my friends, is the holy grail of wrestling biographies, of wrestling books in general. This to me is the best book I've ever read. And that's saying something, because I've not read that many books. I've read about 50 books probably. But yeah, this is, to me, is the best book I've ever read. Just such a good book in my opinion. Released in I can't find it. Released in 2007 independently on eBay Press. So this hasn't gone through the WWE system of filtering it down and taking out the stuff out that Vince McMahon didn't want in the book. eBay Press released this book, and it cost me $16.99 for the hardback edition. Look, I don't even know what I can say about this book. It's just so good. I mean, how many pages is it? 553 pages long. An interesting thing I realised about this book is that, like, I mentioned this before, but the coloured pictures inside, the glossy pictures, aren't actually coloured in this book. Black and white, which is, I found quite peculiar, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it doesn't really matter, because I didn't buy the book for the pictures. I bought this book for the stories. And you know, Bret Hart has had such a fascinating life. He dedicated this book to his mum, which on the first page, this book is dedicated to the memory of my loving mum, Helen Tiger Bell Hart, which is a nice touch, because a lot of people, they sort of, I don't know, a lot of people try and dedicate the books to, like, other famous people, and I like how he's dedicated it to his mum. Like, I'm not bothered about dedicating it to anybody else, I'm just going to dedicate it to my mum. It's quite a nice touch. But yeah, high points to this book, he's very open. He talks openly and gives a lot of detail about his entire career, a lot of stuff about the WWF and touring. You know, I found it really interesting how he spoke about when he used to tour the world and the antics he used to get up to and stuff like that, and stories about his brother Owen, which is, you know, fantastic, especially having read Martha Hart's book, where doesn't really give you a lot of Owen Hart stories. It's quite a bitter book, if I'm being honest, but this is quite a loving book towards Owen. It's, you know, low points of the book. No, I didn't really think this, but everyone says this when they talk about this book, so I might as well mention it, that he's full of himself, basically. I can't. To me, to be full of yourself means to be arrogant and cocky and thinking of yourself more than what you actually are, whereas Bret, to me, is the fucking man. Bret is the best wrestler of all time. He deserves to talk about himself in such a high regard, because I will talk about him in such a high regard, and I expect everyone to talk about him in such a high regard, because to me, Bret is the best wrestler of all time. I'm just looking through the pages now, I'm just trying to remember one of the decent stories. I think there's one where him and Owen had sailed out to sea, and like the motor had broke on the little boat, so they were pretty stranded, and I think somebody came and saved them, or something like that. I think someone else was in the boat as well. Just really good stories in this book. If I was you guys, would I buy this book? I would definitely buy this book. You've got to have this book. If you're a wrestling fan and you enjoy reading books, then I really recommend that you own this book, and definitely read it. Even if you can't afford, like, maybe not can't afford it, but if you don't have that spare, like, 17 quid to go out and buy this book, try and lend it off a friend. Try and go to a library and read it, because this is very much worth the read. I mean, I'm not the kind of guy who reads a lot of books, and I'm not the kind of guy who would actually go to a library to read a book. But if I hadn't had the money to buy this book, and I hadn't had any mates to lend this book from, knowing how good it is, I would have definitely just gone to a library, sat in there and just read this book for hours, just flicking through this book until I got bored, put it back on the shelf, go back the next day or whenever, and finished it. Obviously it's quite a thick book, so it would have took me quite a few days, but still, this is just an awesome book. I can't put it over enough. I've lost my notes on what I usually talk about in books, but yeah, it's just full of great stories, full of, like on the back it says, a story of death, sex, betrayal and revenge, sweat, steroids and duplicity. It tells a lot about steroids, it tells a lot about his cheating on his wife. He's quite open about that, and I think in the book he doesn't come out like he regrets it, but he comes out like he's sorry that he did it. He actually would like to apologise to his wife, but at the same time he did enjoy doing it. Like there's one where he talks about having a threesome with 2 Chinese birds while on tour in China, you know. There's funny stories like that that just made me laugh, to be honest. But he's led quite the life, Bret the Hitman Hart, and just, that's the Bret Hart that I remember on the front, not the guy who's broken down on the WWE. If I'm going to rate this book out of 10, no second thoughts, I'm going to rate this book 10 out of 10. Now, probably not going to have that many book reviews to do anymore, because this was the last book that I had to do. I've got books that I've not read yet, but this was the last book that I've actually read that I wanted to review, and now I've reviewed it. Books that I've got on the go for those that you are interested in my future reviews: Roddy Piper's book, Andre the Giant's book, Rey Mysterio's book, World Wrestling Insanity, I think that's what it's called. Those are the 4 books, wrestling books, that I've got on the go at the moment. So if you're interested in reading or hearing a review on that, let me know, and I'll try and finish that book first and get that review out. But I think now, for a while, the only videos you're going to get are really show reviews and anything else like that that I can think of, and not really book reviews anymore, which was the thing that sort of launched me and sort of got me getting more viewers, because not really that many people do book reviews. So now I've not got that, I've got to rely on the stuff that everybody else is doing. So back to the grindstone with the ideas, I suppose. If anyone's got any ideas for videos, pop them down here, because I'm running out of ideas, to be honest. I've come up with one, well I've not come up with one, I stole it, to be honest, but there's no videos done on it, so I'm going to get that video sorted out for the next few days, because I'm going back to uni soon as well, so I really want to get quite a few videos done in a short space of time. Like I've just done a video here and a video there, like one straight after the other. I want to get a load on my computer so that while I'm at uni I don't have to worry about doing videos. I can just upload them one day, wait a few days, upload another, and then after a month then maybe start doing a few more videos again. So I'm on hiatus, I suppose, after this week. So yeah, enjoy me while you can, if you enjoy these videos like this. So yeah, with that, I blabbered on for far too long. This was probably a rubbish video, and I really wanted to put this book over. Buy this book, go out and buy this book. See you later.